little loud.
She's really getting up there.
And
Yeah, she is.
I'm doing an engine flush and an oil change. So I had water in the block, and the water came out. It was kind of rusty, and I said, yeah, it's a good idea to flush it. So I already put the liquid in there. It's this 3-in-1 radiator flush. It says it takes out grease, radiator rust, and rust remover. All right. So now I got a slight problem. My bilge pump is not working. It died while I was pumping the water. So I'm gonna have to drain the engine, and then I'm gonna use my vacuum cleaner and soak up the water, and then take it out there and dump it. Came to do some minor repairs. It's 90 something degrees here. It's like, it's hot, hot, hot. Let me see. Temperature. Okay, it says it went down to 82. A little while ago it was 90. So I got another 8 minutes to go. And just trying to get something ready and out of the way, so when the engine arrives, you know, we can install it without having to start crawling around to try to get at things that are hard to get to. So now with the engine out of the way, it's a lot easier for me anyways. And I went and I checked the oil. The oil is new. I had that oil. I put in that oil, I think it was last year. I gotta check the filter, because I put the date on the filter. But the thing is that I think I use automotive oil. So I was doing some reviews on oil, on marine oil, and it turns out that the marine oil has some protective metals. It said it had extra nickel and cadmium or some other stuff. So those metals are to make the engine run cooler. Since you don't have a fan like you do on a vehicle, and you don't have ventilation coming from under the vehicle when you're driving, so it's getting a double cool effect on your engine and in your car or truck, and it's not going to overheat. But on a boat, the engine is down in the hole, closed all the way around. There's only a couple of hoses, vent hoses that bring in fresh air, but it's only to break up the gases and the fumes and blow them out. But it doesn't really cool the engine. And I said, you know what? Let me just put marine engine. So I went and put the marine engine. I'm gonna put the marine engine. One thing I did find out, that the marine engine, the marine oil, you cannot use on a vehicle because it'll mess up your catalytic converter. It'll clog it up, kind of thing. So I said, okay, so, because I was thinking, hey, I'm going to use marine engine on my trucks. And no, you don't do that. You got to use what it's designed for, automotive. And when I went to pick up this engine, I talked to one of the guys that with this old timer that he knows his stuff. And I said, why does it say gas and diesel engine? And he says, because it's the same oil. And he said, well, I thought that the diesel has a little more viscosity, a little thicker. He goes, nah. He says you can use the oil on both engines, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I bought a 30 weight and put it on there. I have to do some more stuff. I got my little book here. I got to go through the list. I got to paint the anchor, paint the chain, but I'm not going to do that today. I just came to do this, get that out of the way. And then I have to install this pump, because the other pump is dead, and this pump has been sitting here for a while. I got two pumps and they're both dead now, so I gotta disconnect the little one. That's the one that sucks down to maybe 1/4 of an inch. That one sits high. That one, you can have 2 inches of water and it won't suck it up. But the one that I have for overflow in case there is an inundation or a wave come in or whatever, that one's dead. It's been dead for more than a year, and that's what I bought that one for. It's 1,500 gallons an hour to put it and replace it. But the guy that does that for me, he says he's working on his car right now, he can't make it, da da da. I say, well, whenever you get a chance, come down here and take care of that for me. And maybe, and I'm gonna see if we can disconnect the little pump, take it home and clean it, because I did that once and I made it work, brought it back. So let's see if I can do that with that one and see what happens. All right, guys. Sorry for the noisy video. Okay, so I ran the engine for 40 minutes or so. The container said that run it for 20, but you can drive it for 1 or 2 hours. So I said, well, I can't drive it, but I let it run for about 40 minutes. So right now the pump is pumping the oil out. If you can tell the hose. And I'm gonna let it cool, because the engine ran for it didn't run hot, because I was checking with my my laser meter there, and it was running pretty cool. I was kind of surprised. The elbows were doing 74, 75. The block was doing 150. That's nothing. The hottest in the front intake manifold, that was around 174. That's still nothing. If it goes over 200, then you have a problem. So operating temperature on this engine is 160. So it was doing good. So I'm gonna let it cool, because I don't want to burn myself. And then I got a hose with a fitting. When it connected, put the hose in there and drip, let it pour into the bucket. So man, it's hot. I went down to 80, 84, but still, I got the fan going. All right, guys, I'm gonna kick back a little bit. When I hear that thing slurping, it ran out of oil. I'm gonna stop. It has to still drip down to the bottom of the block, and then I'll turn it on again to make sure there's no oil in there. All right.
For justice.
Okay, so let me turn this off. So I got the second batch. I turned off the pump, and the oil settled in the engine, and then I turned it back on, and like 5 minutes later, and it started picking up a lot more oil. And that's what you have to do, because there's a lot of oil in the nooks and crannies. It's got to drip down to the pan. So I turn it off, and I'm going to turn it back on in a few minutes, and then disconnect the filters, because they're new, only last year. Drain them, and then put them back on, and then put the new oil, and put the oil in the engine. You know, fill up the filters. There are 2 of them, and then I'm waiting for the engine to cool, because I try to remove that, and I burned my fingers. Man, the water was hot. So I don't want to put cold water in there, because the engine could crack. So I have to wait another half hour before I can do the antifreeze. You know, I gotta put water and let it flush out more, because I don't think I put enough, even though the radiator filled. It started spilling over. But you know how it is. It's got air pockets and stuff. So I have to do this slowly. So I don't know, it's kind of late. I just talked to my wife. I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to stay here, because this is a process. So what I did is I fixed myself a drink, and I'm smoking a Gloria Cubana Series R. Very good cigar. Very good aroma. So I'm gonna kick back while the engine is cooling, and I can continue the process. All right, later. Okay, so I'm taking a break. It finally cooled off, and got the oil in. I couldn't remove the second filter. It was hard as hell. I tried and I tried, and I said, the hell with it, leave it there, and I'll try to change it sometime later. So I put the oil in it, got some water in, and I'm gonna start the engine. Let it circulate, make sure it's got water to the top, and then drain it again, and then put the antifreeze, and then I'm done. But I'm staying here tonight because traffic was bad coming in, and I know it's gonna be worse going out. So I already called home and I let her know that I'm not coming in today. And I'm still enjoying this cigar. And by the way, this cigar is excellent. Gloria Cubana Series R. It's dark, very aromatic, doesn't bite at all, very good aroma. And I got 2 more in the box. I don't know if I got some of this at home, but I gotta bring some more cigars here. And I got a mess. Look at what's under the table. All the parts for the engine, the distributor, and the carburetor and the starter and everything is up in bags up in on the seat there, and tools on top, and I gotta organize. Well, that's the way it's gonna stay until the engine gets here, and it looks like it's gonna be another 2 weeks or so, maybe a little bit more. So yeah, very good cigar. It burns even, doesn't go out. As long as you keep it going, you know, you work on it. So I gotta go get something to eat later. So okay, the second day, the second flush. So I'm running the engine. I'm gonna let it warm up so it opens up. When it warms up and water comes into the rest of the engine, circulate, and then I'll flush it. I already changed the oil, got the new oil, and we're good to go. So it runs good. There's a little ticking, and I think it's one of the valves that needs a little bit of adjustment, just a little tightening. It's got a ticking. I gotta find out what side is it. So something for the future. All right, later. Okay, so did the flush. Did the rinsed it out, put the antifreeze, ran the engine for about 10 minutes, topped it off with antifreeze, so that engine is good to go. I fixed a couple of hinges that were coming loose, and now I gotta pump out the water with my vacuum down on the hole. And you know, if there's a lot of little miscellaneous here and there,